everybody, once again you are watching The Underground Bunker. I'm your host Hobbs, and with me as always is my tablet, because I can't remember shit. You all know what this is. It's a weekly web series where I showcase unsigned and underground bands that I think you ought to be paying attention to. Why? Because, I don't know, I think of myself as a prophet of music, or some stupid fake shit like that. No, I just want to bring you fucking kick-ass music, because kick-ass music is where you find it. That said, I have nothing else to say, but let's do a fucking show! Leading off this week's episode is a band whose members will make most of the guys watching this question their sexuality, because this is Betar. You're gonna feel really weird about this one, but try and close your eyes and just listen to the music, because I know a lot of you Pantera fans will be like, fuck these guys, they look like blah, 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 blah. Let's just skip right past the fact that they have that sort of androgynous look that happens to be very trendy today. You've got bands like Pansy, you've got, Once Around that used to be this sort of stuff. You've got Black Veil Brides that somehow sound like Nickelback now, but the image, it's very, very popular. So let's just jump right past that. They're a four-piece scary core band from Gothenburg, Sweden. And when I think about Gothenburg, I don't picture this stuff coming out of it, because you've got Transport League and you've got all this other stuff that's, the Swedish metal scene is very cool, but I don't picture the visual metal band coming out of Sweden, which probably explains why they are so huge in Japan, because visual key and performance, visual aspect performance metal is very, very popular there, and for good reason, because those guys do not do anything minimalistic. They go to the nth degree whenever they're putting on a show, and I think American bands could learn a thing or two about that. They got their start in 2004. You guys have been around for quite a while, and the fact that they don't have a bigger fan base is kind of saddening to me, because they should be much bigger than they are. They put so much into their shows, and it totally shows. I mean, the time they must spend getting ready for a show must be astronomical. Not to mention the money that they spend on outfits and gear and all that stuff. These guys, by the way, are unsigned. These guys spend all their money. So let that sink in for just a bit, because a band like this should have a much better fan base than it does. So with, in that aspect, I hope that you guys check these guys out. Now, one really cool thing about this band is they are one of two artists ever to be featured in the Tekken soundtrack arena. They are featured on Tekken 7 with the song Free, which, if you're not familiar with the language, it covers, it's the theme for one of the fighters whose name is Lars. The only other artist, by the way, to be featured on Tekken is Snoop Dogg. So that's kind of cool, and they really kind of look up to that as like a goal to maintain. They did come out with a single for the song that you're listening to. It's called Devour. There's another song on the single, and both of them, well, Devour is a very metal song, and the other one is a very kind of melodic song. Both, which showcases the dynamic that these guys have. They have a very wide range, and even if you're not into the image, every single song that they have is very, very listenable. Now, of course, these guys have a Facebook page, just like everybody in the fucking world does, but you can get their music pretty much anywhere you can find music, and also check out their .com, which is betar.com. Well, after that experience, I don't know about you, but I need to feel normal again, so let's all drool over Sin Lacrosse. Oh, this is much better. So, Sin Lacrosse, 5-piece deathcore or death metal band out of Valencia, España, which I love Spanish music. There's so much beautiful music that comes out of Spain, and even if it's the heavier shit like this stuff. fucking love these guys. They got their start in 2008, so they've been around the block for a bit, and they've done pretty well on their own, not the least of which was winning a festival slot with the Granito Rock Festival, which is Granite Rock Festival. They got on that big giant fucking festival out there, so very, very cool for them. Now, when you combine the sound with the image, this band reminds me a lot of old Arch Enemy with sort of Godhead's, look. They really do put a lot of work into their performance aspect, which I think is very cool. Like I've said this many times, there's way too many bands that sort of get out of bed, put on a wrinkly sleeveless shirt, and get on stage. With bands that put this kind of effort into their performance, I highly respect it, no matter where it's coming from or what it sounds like. These guys have released a lot of music on their own, which, being an unsigned band, is kind of an expensive project. Of course, you all know this. They actually just released a video for the song Colony a couple months ago, and they are actually working on music today. They're working on music right now. They're recording, which cannot wait to hear it, guys. Once you get it out, please get it to me. I will get it out to the world. Now, like I said, everybody's got a Facebook page. These guys are no different. They have a Facebook. Go get on it. But you can also check out their music anywhere you can find music, and sinlacrosse.com.
Segway!
The next band I am going to bring you on this very nice, warm Wisconsin day is a band whose members I have known for quite some time and have respected for an even longer period of time. This is My Zero. Brass Tacks. They are a four-piece industrial metal band from Minneapolis, Minnesota. And if you know the Minneapolis music scene, you know there's a shitload of stuff going on up there. I mean, it is the place that started Prince. Let that sink in. Prince. And American Head Charge. And Morris Day and Time. And tons and tons of other bands, not the least of which is today. The band was started by that guy, John Wheeler, who also was the frontman for Screaming Mechanical Brain, or if you go back far enough, Screaming Monkey Boner. But he also played bass for Blue Felix. And he's very, very electronic oriented, so this surprises me very little that not only is he into this, that he started this, but it's as good as it is. The song you're listening to is called Can't Lose Control, which is the first song I got to hear by them. Got to hear it before it came out, and it's one of the songs that I listen to in my car all the time. I've listened to it for the better part of better part of 2 years. You can probably surmise some of their influences, but me, I think this band sounds a lot like Dope and Godhead. It sort of has that electronic aspect with being very metal, and I like that a lot. Now, they haven't done any real touring yet. I wish they would, because a band like this really needs to have their sound listened to, especially today. There's a lot of stuff that just doesn't get set apart, and these guys easily do, and they put a lot of stuff into their performance. They did release an EP a couple years ago, and it is super cool, but they are actually working on new music right now, so I cannot wait to hear it. The disc is called Work is the Curse of the Drinking Class. Thank you very much, guys, for giving me a copy. It is awesome. It's 3 songs of fucking awesome metal. Do check it out. You can find it on their Reverb Nation. You can also check them out on Facebook.
Segway!
This band is not subtle, and so they definitely do not fit their name. This is Poker Face.
I'll get 'em high, show 'em what I got.
No, not that one. God damn.
Listen, dear, I'm drunk, I'm tired. Walk yourselves, I always want to live this strong. You know my passion to the games.
These guys are currently a 4-piece. They were a 5-piece who got their start in Russia, but are currently located in Hamburg, Germany. Very cool stuff. They got their start in 2013, and have done okay for themselves. I'm going to be honest, I reviewed their album on bloodrockmedia.com several months ago, and I wasn't really into it. I don't know why, but it just seemed to me a little bit derivative. That said, I am the kind of person that will give stuff, second, third, and fourth, fifth chances. You should see how many. You should hear how many times I've tried to watch American Top Gear. Can't do it. Anyway, that said, I listened to this band's album a lot to really just wrap my head around it, and I get it now. It is a fucking awesome album. If I could take back the score, I would totally give it up like a 4.5 out of 5, because it really gets into your head and it sticks there. And not, if for no other reason than the fact that these guys know how to play their shit. Now, a band like this can remind you very easily of several other bands, not the least of which is in this moment, but let's skip right past that because in this moment. This band actually reminds me a lot of bands like Infected Rain, whom I covered several months ago on this show. Do check those guys out too. But they also kind of remind me of Swaer, and that rocks. And once I got that, it was like Ghost. You know, once I realized that they were sort of a mix between like Alice Cooper and Typo Negative, I really, really dug it. And once I realized that these guys had that sort of Slayer Anthrax aspect, I really dug that too. And it really, once I got that, it really stuck in my head. Very cool stuff. The singer's name, for some reason, is Lady Owl, which, I'll be honest, is not the coolest stage name in the world. However, her pipes totally make up for that. And the lead guitar player, her name is Zen Ritter. She has got some serious shreddability on her, and just when you combine the two, not to mention the bass player and the drummer, they bring a huge arsenal to bear. And they're so easy to look at, and I'm sorry to say that, but it just makes it easier. Although I do have to admit that if I didn't know what they looked like, I would probably still dig the music as much as I do. It's not as if I'm looking at a picture of them while I'm blasting in my car. They got done with a tour a couple of weeks ago, and, well, it wasn't by choice. Their van broke down, as many bands will do, and they've since been kind of stuck. They're trying to pay for the repairs, but at the same time they are booking more gigs. So I kind of respect that. If they're booking gigs while at the same time they're sort of down for the count, that suggests a really, really good work ethic. You can, of course, check these guys out on Facebook, and I highly recommend that you do, but you can also find their music on Bandcamp, so get on it. Segway! I don't hear enough bands from the Empire of the Rising Sun, and that's not because there's like some curtain, a musical curtain that prevents these guys from, getting out there. I just think that, and it's sad to say that, people these days, if they don't understand the lyrics, then they're not really going to pay attention. Baby metal is an exception to that, of course. But a lot of bands that come out of Japan are fucking awesome, and this band is no exception. This is Yousei Teikoku, or, if you're not familiar with the language, Fairy Empire. Now, you might think from looking at the video and this live performance or listening to the music that these guys sound a lot like baby metal. I think it would be more accurate to say, however, that baby metal sounds like this, because these guys have been around since 1897. And of course, you might be able to surmise they're Japanese. They started in Tokyo, Japan. They're actually one of the first bands that sort of implemented the female, the melodic female vocals with the brash and brutal sound of metal. And like I said, baby metal kind of got a lot of inspiration from this. I can only surmise because there wasn't much back in '97 that was doing what these guys are doing. And they've had the same singer the whole time they've been around. Now, picture this. The band has been around for over 20 years. Now, they've taken breaks in between, and they're currently active right now. They just released a new video. They've taken breaks in between, but given the fact that they've been around for over 20 years, this band should be much bigger than it is. And it kind of saddens me that they're not. You've got bands like Baby Metal and Deer Grey and tons of other, visual key bands that are doing the fucking work and doing it well. This band, which is sort of set apart by the fact that they're so much operatic. They're so much more operatic than the other bands. So they definitely stand out. but they are not standing up to their level, which is kind of sad. You know, especially when look at that. They've played big, giant shows, but for some reason haven't gotten the exposure the other bands have, and I wish that would change. They have released a lot of music, and they actually just released a new video called Black Coffin, if you are not familiar with the language, and I liked it a lot. It's kind of, well, you're listening to it right now. Like I said, I hope these guys get a lot bigger than they are. It is about fucking time for something like this to finally come to the limelight. And with that, I wholly think that you should go like their Facebook page, and if you like to see their .com, it is dasfenreich.com. That, my friends, is all the time we have on this episode of The Underground Bunker. I invite you once again to like and subscribe. You all know how this works. It's YouTube. It's been around for quite a while. I also encourage you highly to check out all the band's links. They deserve your loving, and especially since the weather is getting up, they need you at their shows. Buy their stuff. CD sales are going back up consistently, so I recommend that you get on the bandwagon and get your stuff. Also, do check out the Spotify. I checked it today, and we might be a couple weeks behind, but it is 1,272 songs long right now, which is just under 3 days of music that you need to be listening to. And also, if you've got 54 minutes of extra time, do check out The Toxic Dream. It is my own personal project, and I do think you would like it. I'm going to leave you with this remark. And I say this all the time. It is high time that we get back on the Let's Fucking Love Music bandwagon. It's warming up. Everyone should be getting out to the shows, enjoying fucking music. Doesn't matter what genre it is. It's there for your enjoyment. They bleed for you. Bleed for them. I'm Hobbs. I'm out!